Basically we're squatting the planet Earth, really, you know. Only humans are paying to live on this planet, which I find it a bit like, Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mind paying for someone doing a work for me, i.e. someone builds me a house or selling me a house. I don't mind that. Or rent a house, you know. But what I don't get is the ownership that is being done by fraud. Which I mean by, like, i.e. the banks who started to, you know, do their work with, like, you know, helping people in with their interests. And that's all another separate things. Like, I'm come from a Muslim background, and interest is actually against Islam itself. You know, you're not allowed to charge people interest, you know, for money lending or whatever like that. And I started to basically, that was in 2011 when I got into squatting, basically. The idea of squatting is a human right, that everyone has the right to have a shelter. Now, this is where it gets in blur, because we are all different, you know. And some people like to stay someplace and live there, whatever, they have their little nest, you know, little home. And some people like to travel a lot, i.e. me, myself. I like to travel. I cannot stay in one place for long, you know, so I don't technically need a house, you know. And home is where your heart is, really, and my heart is with me always, so, you know. The squatting law came in, and when it went through changes, like, you know, they changed from residential to only to commercial building. Guess what? Now we have more empty houses and more homeless people, even though there's over 50,000 empty homes, you know, empty houses.
Shut up, man.
I find that a little bit logically it doesn't make sense. Everyone, especially a country like England, who shouts about human rights, who shouts about being a decent civilization, or any civilization shouts about being decent. First of all, make sure you're in a place that you can be righteous. You cannot be righteous if your people are suffering, your people are homeless, your people are going hungry, you know. Now, in order for someone to gain a lot, someone has to lose a lot, or a lot of people lose a little. That's the trick. The corporation is the same. The corporation, for example, the supermarket, we get everything cheap here. Why? Because somewhere in another country, a third world country, someone is working excessive amount of hours, like, you know, more than 40 hours per week. That is recommended here, and they work literally for peanuts. It comes down to these things like the 7 deadly sins. I actually started to look into it. We got the 7 deadly sins, and which is countered by 7 holy virtues whatsoever. Now, I was trying to find out what is the cause of all this, the 7 deadly sins, and they had one thing always in common: selfishness. What is selfishness is that when one wants more than what they need. It's called the Western culture. Is targeting these 7 deadly sins, which is basically, if you look it up, it's simple. You go around to the shops, they cater to your 7 deadly sins. Everywhere you go, they target those, and it's kind of like we become addicted to life itself. Everything is become either pleasure or pain. Luxury has become commodity, and commodity has become luxury. You know, yes, we got abundance of food, but we still have hungry people. There's abundance of homes, we still have homeless people. Why is that? Because somebody is greedy. Economy is based on money. What is money? Money is a token of exchange. Now we already have a token of exchange, money. Economy should not be based on money. Economy should be based on people's skill, people's services. That's why a lot of people love the fact the movie, what was the movie with Al Pacino? Godfather. You know, because, you know, he wasn't a gangster, like, you know, killing people or whatever. No, he was a nice person, he had his own economy by favor. Always we're gonna have good and bad experience, but it's how you're gonna do with it. And as a final, I can say one of the more important things I learned is that I can never help how I'm gonna feel with people. I might feel angry, I might feel upset, I might feel frustrated, but what I can do is control how I react to my feelings, you know. And that's one of the most important lessons I learned. I have control over myself. Rather than controlling others, I control myself. And that's the greatest power one can have.